Hello Class 2, it's lovely to be back with you again. Today we're going to try painting the Ramsbury tree you've been learning about in school. So what we're going to do is we're going to need paint for this, and we're going to have on one side, we're going to have white with a little bit of green. We're going to have just green and mid green, and we're going to have black and green. And the reason for this is we're going to mix them up to create 3 different shades of green. You might already have your 3 shades of green on the table ready for you, but I thought I'd let you know how we get those 3 different shades of green. We need to draw it at first. We also need some cotton buds. I need a ruler. No, sorry, actually we won't need a ruler. We need a pencil, and we need a Sharpie or any kind of marker, and maybe a rubber if you need to rub out as well. I did this one earlier actually. This is the new tree, and this was planted in 1986 and still stands today. But this tree is actually an oak tree, which is much different to the old tree that died in 1983. And you'll see that the trunk here is quite tall and quite slender. The tree is very full of leaves, which is lovely, but it's a very different looking tree. And the trunk on the old tree actually is much thicker, much more mature, so it has a very different shape to it. And whilst it's much thicker, the branches inside are much thicker too. So it has a bit of an odd shape to it actually. I'm going to show you how to draw it. And everyone has different ways of drawing trees. I thought I'd just show you a different way of drawing a tree today. And what we're going to do is we're going to take your pencil and you're going to draw a line, not right from the top, but almost from there to about there. So there's room at the top and room at the bottom as well. Okay, and that's going to be the centre of your tree. And what we're going to do, we're going to start from the top of the tree. Normally I always start from the bottom where the trunk is and then go up, but today we're going to do it slightly different. And we're going to start with a little bit of a point on either side, okay? And then either side of that we're going to do a little step, just a little one. And then we're going to come down slightly, in a line again, a straight line if you can, with another little step. Okay, and then we're going to do exactly the same again. We're going to come down, try to make it straight if you can. Mine's not too straight, and with another little step there. We're going to come down again, and another little step there, and another little step there. Okay, and then what we're going to do now is to draw the trunk. We're going to take it from around about the first step, just underneath actually. We're going to come out slightly. We're going to make this trunk not straight at all. It's very, very textured and very bumpy. Not too bumpy that it's silly, but I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to come down and we're going to draw uneven shapes. Can you see it comes down and actually broadens as it gets closer to the ground? So once again, we're going to take it from here to there. Okay, so either side of the line, we've now got your trunk. You're going to colour this in actually, so don't worry, that line will disappear when you colour it in. What we're going to do now, we're going to use those steps to draw the branches. And I'll show you what we're going to do. At the end of the step, the bottom of the step, you're going to follow the step here, and you're going to keep that line going. And you're going to draw branches, not straight branches, otherwise they'd look silly. These are quite bent, not too bent, but just up and down, they're uneven, both sides. And that is going to form your branch. And what you're going to do now, you're going to, under there, where we've stopped, you're going to take it a bit further away. So you've got it growing into a narrower branch as it goes along, and same here as well. You're going to take it from further away, you're going to join it up until it goes into a narrower end to your branch. You're going to do the same with the next step. You're going to take it from the corner of the step again, and you're going to do the next branch. The next branch will be shorter, not as long as the bottom branch, and you go from the next step again, the next branch, and for the next step up there you're going to go again, nice and uneven, not too straight. and the top ones from the step. Okay, and once again you're going to, from about the middle of here, the two lines, you're going to come down and you're going to follow that line. Once again from here, from about the middle, you're going to come down and follow the line. You're going to do the same this side. So around about the middle, you're going to fall down into it, and you're going to do the same here from the middle. Going to come down, and once again here, right at the top. Okay. Now you need the branches as well. So the branches will come off in different directions. Most of the big branches have a main branch coming off as well. So you might want to start here and go this side. I'll just colour this one in so you know what I'm talking about. It's probably easier for you to see. So there we go. And again, we're going to not make it too thin from the end there. We're going to make it thinner right at the bottom, but not when it first starts to branch off. And from these two branches, we're going to do thinner twigs. Now usually every tree is an individual tree, but we are trying to make it look like an old tree, this tree, because it was very old. It was hundreds of years old before it died. So once again, now you've done this one, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to colour it in. Take your time when you're colouring it in, and you're going to do a main branch coming off this branch, okay? And other smaller twigs and branches coming off. You can add as much detail as you want to, really. We are going to paint pretty much almost on top of this, so almost all of it will be covered, but we'll try and keep some branches showing because they do look nice if you have some branches showing. And then we're going to do the same here. I want you to decide really for yourself what kind of twigs and branches are coming off, because all trees are slightly different. In between the branches you might have little branches coming off as well, which would also be very nice. So colouring as you go along, or it's up to you, you can wait until the end and colour it in if you want to as well. And you might want to do some in the middle there as well. There's lots going on with a tree, especially an old tree. Okay, you might want to do another branch coming down here. That's absolutely fine if you do. So I've done one side of the tree, almost, so I haven't finished maybe the top part of it. But you can see that's starting to take shape now. And this piece in the middle, the trunk, we're going to colour in as well. I am not going to spend too long colouring this in because I don't want the video to be too long. So I'm going to show you what happens when the whole thing's coloured in. You've done branches this side, you've done branches that side as well, and the whole of the trunk is coloured in, maybe with a few branches at the top as well. So it should end up looking a little bit like this. Sorry, that's two, I might be wrong, quite long. Okay. So again, you can see it's a really, really thick trunked tree. And because it's growing and growing and growing taller and taller, it is getting narrower and thinner as we go up to the top. What we're going to do now actually is put the colour in. And what I really, really like to use when we're colouring a tree is not always to draw in every leaf, because when you look at a tree from a distance, you don't see every leaf as a detail. You see shades of green. You see darker greens, lighter greens. Sometimes the light reflecting on a leaf will look almost white. So different shades of green. And we're going to use these cotton buds to dab our paint onto our tree. So I'm going to start off with the darkest colour first. And I'm going to mix the green with the black. Not completely, because I want it to be a little bit swirly with its colour. So probably from the centre of it there, I'm going to mix it. I can decide if it's too dark or too light by carrying on mixing it up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start to, now I'm really going fast with this. I don't want you to go too fast. I want you to take your time. You've got time to do yours. You can even see the different shades because I haven't mixed the painting completely, so you can still see some are darker than others, which is rather nice. That means you've got at least 3 shades of green, but perhaps it could be more like 7, 8, 9 shades of green if you don't mix the paint completely. Both sides. Please don't hurry because yours will look far better than mine if you're not hurrying. Now, nearly finished with this colour. I'm not going to do the dark colour in the middle of the tree because you won't see it against the black. But I am going to start filling in a little bit of the areas of white because that's the light coming through the back will be the white. Okay, so not too much. You still need to see a little bit of that coming through as well. Right, that's pretty much. I might want to bring it further down actually because it's a really, really wide tree, the old tree was. I was reading on Google that it almost reached the sides of the shops, the shop windows, which if you have a look now at the tree that's there now, it's nothing like as big as this old tree. So it's really, really wide and really, really tall. So I might want to go up as high as I can with this colour as well. Okay, now I'm going to change my colour. I'm going to get a new cotton bud, or I could use the other side. And I'm going to go for the mid-green now, okay? Mid-green. You'll start seeing the different shade as we put it on. I quite like the mid-green actually. I think it gives a nice effect. And I am going to start putting it a little bit more on the trunk now, because when you look at a tree, you don't see a great big trunk in the middle of a tree. What you see are the leaves around the trunk, and at the bottom of the branches, where there are no more branches, that's when you'll see the branches, the tree. I'm just going to go to the other one now actually, because I want to start drawing some light, putting some light on this. So when I've got this green and white, I'm going to mix a little bit of green in at a time, otherwise it's going to go too green too quickly. So I'm going to put a little bit of green on my cotton bud, and I'm going to start to mix it in a bit more until I've got the colour that I want. I certainly don't want it too dark. This is the one that's got to stay light. Okay, here we go. Again, don't mix it in completely. You want to see a little bit of a marble effect on your paint. Don't go too fast like me, because if you go too fast, you might make a bit of a mess of it. And I'm trying my best to not make too much of a mess of this. But do you get the idea now? You still see some of your branches. You can still see the light coming through the tree. And now we've got 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 different shades of green. I'm going to start going back to some different colours. And the darker colours. It's really important that when you're using cotton buds, you don't use it like a paintbrush. You're not going to use streaks of paint. It really is just a dabbing effect, because every dab represents a leaf or a shade. Okay. And there we pretty much have it actually. And you can decide just how dark or light your tree looks. You might want it to look a little bit lighter than mine, which is absolutely fine. Or a little bit darker even, it's fine. Certainly it's going to be your tree, and it's up to you how you want it to look. But I think it does represent a nice wide tree. It could be a little bit taller, but the paper is not as tall as what I'd like it to be either. But under what I have shown you is that trunk, which is a really wide, very mature trunk at the bottom of the tree. If your paper is taller than mine, then put a bit of height on it. But I have tried to show you it was a very, very wide, large tree. Well, I hope you've really enjoyed this class too. I've enjoyed showing you. I want you to have a lot of fun painting your tree. I can't wait to see them. Well done, class 2. Bye.